Knicks family, what's poppin'? The Knicks gave the Blazers all they could handle. They came up short, but we'll take it. Let's go. Don't know where I'm at. There we go. I'm back in effect. Private lounge on Chase Bridge. Food and non-alcoholic beverages are included. Courtside seats at the pregame shoot-around. A mini tour of MSG. The cost is $205 per ticket or $220 with an NBK shirt. And what is that? That's the January 21st Martin Luther King Day game. Knicks versus Thunder. Let's talk about this Knicks Blazers game. Let's rock, y'all. What's up, my friends and family? How y'all doing tonight? I'm chilling. I'm doing pretty good. I'm not doing bad at all. Unfortunately, though, I didn't even get to see the game. I have to catch the replay. I'm not sure how much I'm actually going to catch the replay. Not tonight. I'm probably going to look back at my daughter's game and break down my daughter's game so I can give her some pointers on what she needs to do. Because we had a rough game tonight. We had a real rough game tonight. Started off okay. You know what I'm saying? Defensively. Offensively, we could never get it together tonight. My daughter was off tonight. We got blown out the gym. Now, we did play one of the best teams from a league that's, pretty high above us. Matter of fact, the team we played won the championship in their league last year, and it's a pretty good league. Really good league. Not that we're not in a good league. We're in a good league too, but we played a tough team. And we got ran out the gym by this tough team. You know, the good thing is that we can play much better. And if we play them again, which we won't this season, we'll probably play them again next season. You know, we'll look much better. But it wasn't to be tonight. Was not to be. All right, so my basketball team, my girls team, we took that L tonight. We took a good butt whooping tonight, but it's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. It happens. You know, we're going to come back stronger. We're going to come back stronger next game. We play Chapelgate High School next game. We coming for that Vic. Anyway, I didn't get to see the game tonight, so I'm relying on you. I'm relying on callers. I'm relying on video chat. People in the video chat to let me know what happened in the game tonight and, break down the game for me because I wasn't able to see the game. I caught the last 9 seconds of the game, just enough to see the buzzer go off and the Knicks lose 118 to 114. Caught the last 9 seconds of the game. All right, so I'm going to rely on the video chat. I can look at the box scores, but the box score is not going to tell me everything. You know what I mean? The box scores are really just going to give me numbers. But this is what I will do. I will go over the box scores real quick. I'm going to take this off tonight. Not feeling good. Feeling hot. I'm going to go over the box scores. Look at the box scores. And then I'm going to have the guys in the chat. I'm going to have you guys in the YouTube chat. And I'm going to rely on callers to fill me in and let me know exactly what went down in tonight's game. From what I understand, it was a good game. The Knicks played well. Right? The Knicks played maybe one of the best games of the season tonight. Although we didn't come up with a win, played one of the best games of the season. You know what I mean? So, I'm encouraged by that. If that's the case, we got Nate in the chat. We got a new brother in the chat. Glad to see him. Not sure of his name, but we'll get his name soon enough. All right, we'll get his name soon enough. And my man, actually, if you're able, you can put your name in the chat so it comes up on the screen. All right. So the Knicks lost to the Portland Trailblazers tonight, 118-114. We check out the matchup, tonight's matchups, or the matchup numbers. The Knicks won the first quarter, 35-33. Now, listen, this is new information to me right now, folks. All right, new information to me right now. I didn't get to see none of this. Second quarter, so the Knicks had the lead at half. Knicks led by 2 at half. At the end of the third, the Knicks were down by 4. And then we played them even in the fourth. Hence, we lose the game 118-114. You know what? I like that. Just from looking at the box score, I like what I see there. Okay? I like what I see there. All right? The Knicks had a lead, 10-point lead in the game. Beautiful to see. Portland Trailblazers' biggest lead was 11. The game was tied 12 times. The longest run was 8. The lead changed. 15 lead changes in the game. Sounds like it was a good game. Looks like it was a good game. On the boards, the Knicks lost it by 1, 42-43. Assists, the Knicks had 22 assists tonight. Okay, I could take that. I would like to see better, but I can take that. 22 assists tonight. The Blazers had 25 assists. The Knicks had 8 steals. The Blazers 8 steals. The Knicks had 5 blocks. The Blazers 4 blocks. The Knicks had 15 turnovers. The Blazers 11. 15 is not horrible. We can do better, but okay, we'll take it. We had an uptick in assists, so I'll take that. That's cool. I'll take that. The Knicks shot 50.6% from the field, 44.8% from 3, 77.3% from the free throw line. We shot 22 free throws. The Blazers, 47.4% from the field, 45.7% from the three-point line, and 70.6% from the free throw line. They shot 17 free throws tonight. So you're looking at these box scores, you can tell it was a competitive game. Let's take a look at the players. Break down the players a little bit, their scores and things. Al-Farouq Aminu, 6 points, 8 rebounds. Jake Layman, 3 points, 3 rebounds. Nurkic, 13 points, 11 rebounds. Damian Lillard, 29 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. What do you expect from Dame Lil? He also had 4 turnovers. CJ McCollum, 31 points. From what I understand, CJ McCollum kind of carried the team a little bit. Carried the Blazers a little bit for a little while. McCollum, again, 31 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Evan Turner had 10 points. Myers Leonard had 15 points. That's a story for the Blazers right there. The Knicks, the New York Knicks. Of course, the Knicks were led by Tim Hardaway. Shot 47% from the field. Had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, only 2 turnovers, 1 steal. Nice stat line for Tim Hardaway Jr. Emmanuel Mudiay. I'm sorry, did I say 36 points for Tim Hardaway? 32 points for Tim Hardaway. Emmanuel Mudiay had 16 points, 66.7% from the field, 4 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 rebounds. And as Cantor played 26 minutes, had 7.6 rebounds. You need more from Cantor. Noah Vonleh, you need more production. If he's playing 26 minutes, you need more production on the rebounding tip at least. But I do understand. I see someone say Cantor was good today. I looked on Twitter. I kind of looked on Twitter a little bit and seen that, Cantor, made some defensive plays, tried to make some defensive plays. Maybe the message is getting through to Cantor. Right? Maybe the message is getting through. Noah Vonleh, 14 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. I like those numbers. Trey Burke, 53% from the field, 19 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, only 2 turnovers. Mitchell Robinson took a seat on the bench today as there was another lineup change for the New York Knicks. We'll talk about that. Had 6 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Kevin Knox off the bench, 2 2 points, 1 rebound. Alonzo Trier off the bench, 9 points, 3 turnovers. Frank Ntilikina, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover. And there was no sighting from Damian Dotson tonight. That surprises me. Because when I did my little pregame, I thought that Damian Dotson would, I thought you would need Damian Dotson to guard CJ McCollum or Damian Lillard. As the Knicks world turns, you know what I mean? As the Knicks world turns, we continue, we seen different lineups. Again, those are the box scores. Now we're going to get to the video chat. And I want to, hear about the game from the video chat. I want to hear about the lineups. What you think about the lineups? We got Guillermo. We got Devon. I hope I said that correctly. And we got Nate. I'm going to start with Guillermo. Guillermo, man, what's popping, man? How you feeling?
What's good, Tim?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. I did not see the game tonight. I seen 9 seconds of the game tonight. Didn't see it at all. I coached my daughter's game tonight.
Better option tonight, son.
Yeah. We had,
it wasn't a disaster, but I will say this, Tim. 2 things I didn't like. So we hung in the game. We had a nice little lead, but 2 things that are glaring. One, we depend on way too much ISO play, man. And when ISO play goes good, we're in the game, and I think that's a dangerous precedent if we're trying to develop certain players. 2, our defense against guards when Frank is not there, or if we don't have another competent guard like say Dotson playing with Frank in there, it is piss poor, man. If you watch like the third, fourth quarter, especially the third quarter when they came back, Lillard and McCollum played that 2-man game, and if Frank wasn't in there, the other guard, like Frank played good defense on Dame. Dame was he got stuck a few times, took a few, really good contested shots and missed them. Frank played good defense on Dame, but when we don't have somebody else in there guarding him, like on that pick and roll, Cantor does not pop out. And Sim, when you watch it, I'm telling you, mark my word, you see it. Third quarter, fourth quarter, when Cantor doesn't pop out, right? And then say the guard comes around, Lillard was exploiting that the whole game. McCollum was exploiting that the whole game. We have so poor guard play and then pick and roll play, especially when Cantor's in there. It's bad. It diminishes the contributions, like good contributions Vonleh made today, even though he missed some key free throws. I don't know what he has to do, Sim, but Fizdale has to. It's still something. I don't know if it's a lineup change or whatever it may be, but that pick and roll and the guard play is just piss poor, man. We're losing a lot of games with just terrible guard defense and pick and roll defense. Man.
That pick and roll defense has been killing us all season long, and unless they put a serious emphasis on it in shoot arounds, you don't have much practice once the season starts. Unless he put some serious emphasis on it, I don't see it getting much better until we get some better players in there.
Sim, I agree to an extent. I know you got some other people to talk to. Look, the book is out on the Blazers, man. When you frustrate their guards, they start taking bad plays. When they get down, they start making bad plays. If they're playing a 2-man game, and I mean they had Nurkic or whatever that guy's in, Nurkic, I always confused with the guy from the Nuggets. When you frustrate those 2 guys, look what they do in the playoffs. They fold. And I'm like, what are you guys watching? What tape are you guys watching to not know? You got to harass those guards early and often and throw them off the rhythm. And the rest of the team is zilch. Even though that other dude, the Almino, whatever, he was hitting a few threes because we, of course, leave him open. But I don't know, Sim. I don't know what he's teaching them in practice, but this is bad, man.
Do you think that do you think the coaching staff is even watching film on other teams, or are they just straight up focused on what we're doing?
No, because if that was the case, every team that we play, we would attack their strengths, or we would allow them. We would, like certain teams, right? They allow teams to kind of feed, right? Like say LeBron James. I know this is years ago, but like Popovich, when he knew LeBron James couldn't shoot when he was on the Heat, he'd give him space. he did it to the point where like it was almost embarrassing. Like the game plan worked so well. And it's like I'm seeing the rotations. Rotations don't make sense a lot of times, Sim. The plays offensively just don't make the certain guys that are supposed to be attacking. Now, Dame Lillard got in foul trouble today, but I would have just exploited that. Like, of course, they're not going to listen to you and me, Sim, when we say, "Hey, put Frank in the box." I would have just kept doing that until Dame had 4, 5, 6 foul. Try to foul him out, and we don't do those things that kind of take him out of the game, like how say the Celtics would do when they have Paul Pierce just operating a block against Carmelo because he has 3, 4 fouls and just force the issue. Like we don't do certain things to kind of attack, that Death Star kind of like weak point in them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's see.
You sound defeated.
Well, you know what? I'm not. I mean, I just came from getting clobbered.
Sorry.
We got clobbered. You know what I mean? We played against a team. Now, mind you, we have all freshmen and sophomores on the team. One junior, one senior. Everyone else are freshmen and sophomores. We just played a team that they won a championship in their league. Now they're in a different league, a tough league, really tough league, and they won a championship in that league, right? And they got like 5 seniors. I think they have like 5 seniors starting. Just a smart, experienced team, and they ran us around like crazy tonight. And
you don't have an ISO star who kind of try to get you back in the game?
No, we don't have that kind of everything that we have to get. We've got to get it off of transition and ball movement, and that's the big problem for us is that we don't understand how to attack. Every team plays zone basically. We don't understand how to attack the gaps in the zone yet. The players don't understand. They're open. We put them in position. Right, we have certain sets set up, and we put them in position, but the girls don't understand how to recognize it yet. When to attack a gap, when to flash to a gap, even if it goes outside of what we set up, they don't understand when and how to flash there and get there. So it makes it difficult to beat a team that has full of seniors and they know how to attack all those gaps.
But are you telling them? I know you got other people talk. Are you telling them to drive or pass? Because with a 2-3, you play the 3, and then you play 3 on the perimeter. One guy to foul, one guy kind of at the box, and you pass. And then if it's a 3-2, you play the 2-1-2. So it's all about with zones. It's all about passing. And it sounds mad racist, but a lot of the teams I played with against the intramurals, when we had that ultra athletic teams. We would dominate teams who play man, but if they played when we had to play against them, these guys just pass. Like we played zone a little bit, they pass, shoot, pass. No driving through the gaps, none of that unless things break down.
Listen, we that's all we do right now is try to move the ball. We are just teaching them keep the ball rotating, attack the gap. When I'm saying attack the gaps, I'm saying attack the gaps after the ball is rotated. And the defense is shifting, and then you attack the gap, or a cutter attacks into, flashes into one of those gaps, and you get it to not a cutter, a flasher, flashes into one of those gaps, and you get it to them. But they don't understand. They don't see the gaps yet. They don't see it yet. And that's the hard part. They don't see it yet. But you're right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be racist either, but the white team know how to pass the ball. I mean, it just is what it is. The white team is what it is. That thing. They play zone. If you play zone against a white team, they're gonna shoot you out. It's bop, shoot us up, yo, bop, bam, you're in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Black teams. I mean, it just is what it is. I'm being truthful. They want to try to dribble through the whole zone and get through the zone, and then they get frustrated, and you're out the game. You know what I mean? And yeah, trust me, I've been there before. I've been there too many times over my years of playing and coaching. But anyway, let's get back to. I mean, it just happens to be that way. And everybody that's in the chat right now, they know it's true. They know it's true. They know it's true. If go to any basketball game, go to any high school basketball game, you will see that. But anyway, Nate.
Hey man, I might be the whitest person on this thing, and I agree with you 100% on that.
Hey, they didn't have to beat the zone. You put a man on them, they might they might fold up. You put a man on them, they might fold up. But you throw that zone on them.
That's why usually the black players are better drivers, man, because they know how to beat that zone and they know how to get to the hole.
Yeah.
The
black players get frustrated.
A lot of times shooting abilities.
If you don't got shooters, man.
Yeah, a lot of times black players don't have shooters, so you put a zone on them, they'd be confused.
They get frustrated. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it happens that way.
I love it, man. I love it. So I was the prisoner of the NBA TV curse. I did not get to see the game, which was very disappointing because I was looking forward to that matchup. But just by what you talked about the box score, it doesn't surprise me. Damian Lillard and McCollum went off. We gave up 33 points in the first quarter, or gave up 30 points in the first quarter, which is a lot. I know we won the first quarter, but we gave up a lot of points in the first quarter. I mean, Sim, I don't understand Fizdale's mentality right now. Like, are we a defensive team? Are we an offensive team? Because if you look at this lineup, it's all offensive based. It's not defensively. I don't think there's one person on that whole roster that could play that starting five that could play defense consistently.
Honestly, I don't know right now if Fizdale. I think Fizdale is just trying to find something that he feels is going to work.
Yeah,
that's what I think. I think he's just searching and trying to find lineups that he thinks is going to work. You would think with Lillard and McCollum out there, you would think that you would see a high uptick in minutes from Ntilikina and Dotson. Nope. Because those are arguably our two best guards that can guard the perimeter. Right.
And yet you got Moutier out there who can't guard a shadow. You got Burke who can't guard his shadow. I mean, they're not good defenders. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. They're not good defenders. You got Ntilikina who can guard pretty much anybody. And you got Dotson, who's a very smart defender himself. I guarantee you, if you put those guys on those two dudes, they probably don't shoot that high of a clip. But once again, we couldn't get a stop, and my God, I saw the last play where we got that we didn't get on the boards either. I think Turner got a putback on us, which pretty much made it a 4-point lead when we were only down by 2. I mean, we got to get better at that. I mean, I don't know if that's scheme or what that is or effort, but we got to get on those boards.
Yeah.
That's just a poor boy to lose.
I mean, getting on the boards. Well, I mean, the boards were kind of even tonight. It was like 43 to 42 Blazers.
But we don't get the boards when it matters.
But you got to get those. Yeah, you got to get the boards that matter. Tonight, Damian Lillard shot 40.9%. CJ McCollum shot 56.5% from the field.
Jeez, yeah. I just think, man, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I just think if you had Dot and you had Ntilikina on those dudes pretty much the whole game, they're not shooting those high points. I really don't. They're having to really work hard for all those points.
Yeah,
when you have a good defender, you can still get your 30 points, but it's harder because they get into you. They get into your skin. They frustrate you. They annoy you. See, I don't see that from Moutier. I don't see that from Burke. They don't get into the skin of the other player. They kind of just finesse kind of play defense. Ntilikina gets up into you. Dot gets up into you. They get off screens. They get through screens really good. I mean, I don't know. It just frustrates me because I'm a defensive person, and if I'm a coach and I got two guys on the other side that are all-stars or just light-out shooters, I want my best defenders on those dudes the whole game.
It wasn't even that. They just exploited the pick and roll so much because they knew that Frank was – I hope I'm not on interrupting. My bad.
No, go ahead. You good.
No, I was going to say – I was going to tell Nate. I know he didn't watch the game, but – dude, like when Frank was on Dame, he frustrated Dame tonight, man. But this is what you talk about with adjustments, right? Cantor, I don't think from what I saw, I don't think he had a good offensive rebounding night, and I don't think he did much tonight. I don't remember him being as big of a factor tonight. I would have had Mitch in there a lot sooner. I know Mitch got a few fouls, but I would have had Mitch in there a lot sooner. Just because if you watch it, I'm telling you, Cantor's defense on the pick and roll allowed Dame and McCollum to exploit us. Literally, when Frank was in there, watch the game. Frank, he was a glove on Lillard. Lillard dribbling, try to cross over, try to turn around, try to lay it up on him. Nothing worked when he went 1-on-1 on Frank.
Dude, Frank's an elite defender. That's elite defender.
Surprising. As soon as they did the pick and roll, you neutralize. Like Cantor is such a zero, and the thing about it causes confusion because Cantor. One thing I realized, right? It's a weird thing that he does. He doesn't peek, right? So he stays back. But once the guy's driving, he almost kind of steps up. So then it allows the guy to be like, all right, I'm going to just come around the pick, give me 1/2 a second. Once Cantor already commits towards me, I'm gonna just go right past him. I swear my life, watch it tonight. It happened so many times, and it's like it's the weirdest form of defense where it's like, all right, if you're gonna just stay back and wait till he shoots the ball and get the rebound, or if he drives to you. You do the Roy Hibbert and just go straight up and have a better defensive chance.
The problem is too is our guys can't keep him in front of him. They keep allowing him.
Well, but the thing about it is that all right, but this is what the Blazers did to combat, because it wasn't as if Moody and all these guys played the worst defense. But the thing about it is that Dame and what's the name? They just kept using the pick and roll because Cantor is such a zero. I'm telling you, watch the game. It is a weird thing that Cantor does, and it literally makes it bad because now the guy who's come around to pick, he doesn't know what to do now because it looks like Cantor is going to commit. And then now Nurkic, whatever guy's name is kind of peeking out the back. So say Frank is kind of trying to come around a pick. Cantor stays back. He comes up. Cantor's now on the guy who's already driving Lillard. Now Nurkic is open for a better angle at the basket. And I don't know what Fizdale's teaching these guys, but that is the stupidest defense I've ever seen. I'll tell Cantor, look, Cantor, I don't care if you're on a poster. I don't care if you get crossed over. Just come and commit. I just need you to put a body in front of the guy so we at least know that, all right, you come up, he's going to try to drive around you. And maybe we could reset, maybe have somebody cheat around, help on the weak side defense. I don't know what he's teaching, but it's not good basketball defensively, man.
When you get
Yeah. All right, let me see. Knicks.
What's up, boss man? How you doing?
I'm chilling, man. How you doing?
I'm amazing. I'm living, man.
Wait. Did you watch the game tonight?
I was pissed off. I ain't even gonna lie to you, man.
So what did you see? What did you see from the game tonight? Because I didn't get a chance to see the game.
What I will say to you is I'm very surprised I wasn't as upset at Tim Hardaway as I usually am.
Okay.
He actually played a decent game. What I will say is something is very fishy going on with this Knicks team as far as coaching, man. This is the third game in a row that I've seen that they are pulling players that are on fire with like 3 or 4 minutes left of the game purposely. Something ain't right, man.
Okay, so I didn't see the game. Man. So tell me who they pulled, because I didn't see the game.
They pulled. I seen Trey Burke. Moutier got pulled. Well, no, Trey Burke got pulled for Moutier. And Burke was actually on fire. Now, Burke at that point in time was not a liability because Dame wasn't really even in the game. Burke was actually a liability at the end of the game, the very end of the game when it was actually Dame time, which is usually like 2 minutes left on the clock. But this is like the third game in a row that I noticed that the Knicks is actually pulling the player that's actually on fire. For whatever reason, I'm not understanding. It's something fishy going on with this team, man. Ever since that front office went to that Duke game, something ain't been right ever since, man.
I don't know. I mean, people in the chat.
Something don't feel right, man.
People in the chat right now saying, just face it. They're tanking. And, of course,
it seems like it.
Fizdale, came out and said whatever he said to the Daily News, that, they're not putting much emphasis on wins or whatever. Look. Clearly. I don't agree. Listen, I don't agree with him coming out and saying that, right? I understand you want to play your young players and you're going to, develop your young players. You got a developmental plan. But my thing is, even with your young players, even if your plan is to just play your young guys as many minutes as you possibly can, you still want them to try to win, even though they're young guys. Let the young guys try to win. You scheme so you can win. You plan so you can win. You do everything that's necessary to try to win the game. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how you teach your younger.
There's no plays being called.
I know.
Nothing.
I know.
It seemed like these guys are playing iso ball from beginning to the end. Mm-hmm. Nothing is being drawn up, man. Nothing. I haven't seen one play being drawn up, man. It seems like whoever gets the ball, you're going to set a pick, and if he's open, he's going to shoot the ball. If he's not open, he's going to pass the ball. That's not a play, man. That's the entire game. That's it.
Right.
That's it.
Now I feel you, man. I feel you.
It seems really uncomfortable watching these guys play, man.
Okay.
And as far as Knox, a lot of people are complaining about Knox right now, man. Knox is young, man, and there's no plays being drawn for this kid. So you got to actually give him some time. Give that kid some time. He's gonna be all right, man. Knox is gonna be all right.
And my thing is, my thing is even, excuse me. My thing is it has to be part of the development of the players to have them practice the principles of an offense. It has to be part of their development. If not, then you're not developing them on the offensive side of the floor. That's just that. You've got to have principles that you emphasize. And I hope that they do. You know what I mean? I don't know. I hope that they do have principles that they emphasize. Let me get to this phone call. Caller, you on Live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey, Sim, this is Chester. How you doing?
Chester, what's going on, man? How you doing? I seen you were calling the other night, and I had picked it up, and then I think, but I was still talking while I picked you up. While I picked up the phone call, but I'm glad you got through.
I keep losing. Like it goes like it rings for a while, and then it just goes off.
No.
So it was a great game tonight. I think people are really missing the point with all these lineups changes. He's not evaluating lineups. He's evaluating the players, the individual players, and he has to put them in certain lineups to evaluate them.
Okay.
It wasn't like he's holding off, playing Dot. He needs the time to evaluate the individual players, and that's what he's doing. Okay. So I don't know why everybody's getting so hung up on the lineups.
I think people are getting hung up on the lineups because it's just my opinion and my experience that it's easier for me, and this is just me, it's easier for me to evaluate players when I go with a lineup for a little while. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I think that's the point that I'm trying to make. He had to play like he had to give Mario time, so you can't have Dot going in there, and using Mario's time. How could he evaluate him?
I get that. I would just like to see him because I don't understand. Well, clearly he doesn't have a system in place, so. It's kind of like just tryouts, right? Where you throw guys out there on the floor and you see what they can do. It's kind of like that.
That's what I think he's doing.
And I feel like this is just my opinion. And I feel like that's the wrong approach. I feel like you start to put your principles of your system in place and then see who can actually run your system. And then, and you have certain lineups and you put them in. You put people in positions to see who can do what, and maybe you do switch lineups around here and there to see who can do what, and to see who can actually fit and do the things that you want to do, who can actually execute the principles that you're trying to emphasize. Because now, next year, if we have no system at all, what do we do next year? Right? That's my question.
I know what you're saying. But I think that this is still really early in the season. I don't think he's to that point where has any set lineups. So, and I think that his principles, I think he's working on them, but I think he's still evaluating the individual players.
Yeah, I think he is too. I think he's definitely still evaluating individual players. I just like to evaluate players within the system that I run. Okay, so as a basketball coach, I run, a lot depends on my team, okay? If I have a team that's really inexperienced, I try to add something that has a lot more structure. Okay, if I have a team that has a lot of basketball IQ, then I put in things that are very, very free, free flowing, right? Because I know that they understand how to play the basketball game. And we'll have a few plays here and there that we can, in case we stall and we're not really moving the ball and we're not getting anything on the offensive end, then we can get a play to just kind of get us going. But I still have basic principles that I focus on. That any set, any play that I do is based on these principles, right? I mean, excuse me, easy, easy pass and cut principles. If a player is overplaying, and I'm not giving out everything because it can go pretty much in depth. I'm just going over some quick stuff.
Yeah,
if a guy is overplaying, you cut back door. Just easy principles that fit inside any single offense that I put in, and then every single offense that I put in, the movements of that offense is based on those principles that I teach. And the same thing, we have the same thing defensively. Any defense that I put in is based on those principles because, people teach different principles. For example, let's just take defensively. You have some people that teach, funnel your man to the sideline or the baseline. You have some people that teach funnel your man to the teeth of the defense to go towards the middle. It's all based on what that coach is comfortable with. And so now when you develop your defensive schemes, it's based around those principles, right? If you're setting up full court pressure, it's based around principles of pushing that player to the sideline or to the baseline, different things like that, right? So I have certain principles that I teach, and then I'll be done in a second. I have certain principles that I teach, and then my offense and defense, anything that I do is based around those principles, so that those principles guide the way that we play basketball. And for a team that's inexperienced, I always have a high structure, and this allows me to evaluate players. And me speaking for myself, it allows me to evaluate players better because I'm able to see how they fit inside my system and the principles that I want to emphasize. If they are not able to fit inside my system, then I may need to let them know that they need to go to, and I coach a lot of AAU, they may need to drop down to another level, right? Because they're not grasping my concepts, or something like that, or they just don't play, or they get cut, right? Because they don't grasp my concepts. And it's easier for me when I have a system in place. It's easier for me to plug people in and see if they can grasp those principles. And when I have a lineup, I can go with a lineup for a little while, 10 games. So like when Fizdale had the lineup with, that starting lineup for the first 5 games. Okay, you gave him 5 games, you seen it. Then you went with the lineup where you had Frank and Dotson, and they went for maybe 10 games. You got to see it. Okay, he did another lineup change, but now it's like every other game is a quick lineup change. How do you really get a chance to see anyone if you're changing that quick? That's what I don't understand. I don't understand how you get to see him if you're changing that quick. But every coach has every coach has their philosophy and their way of doing things. So,
well, I think that he's teaching some kind of defense because I don't remember one backdoor the whole night.
Okay,
I didn't see one backdoor play that they were able to perform the whole night. That's good.
So, that's good because we were against Orlando, we got smacked on those backdoor plays.
I know.
Smacked on them.
I know. We really did.
Yes, sir.
All right. I just wanted
Chester?
to say I thought they played a really overall good game. They played good defense, and I think their offense was good enough to allow them to play the good defense because they had a very good percentage on their 3-point shots.
Great. And, I'm definitely gonna go back and check out the game because I didn't get a chance to. So I'm gonna go back and check it out.
Great.
Appreciate the call, my man. All right.
Bye.
Peace. All right, I'm coming to Davon. Davon, what's popping, man?
What's popping, Sim? Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you, man. I can hear you.
Okay.
Welcome to the video chat.
For sure. Thank you.
So tell me what did you see from the game tonight?
Oh man, the reason why we was in the game was the reason why we lost the game. And not trying to blame Trey Burke, but Fizz took him out for a reason and he put him back in, and he gave up the offensive rebound, and that was it. That's what happened.
Okay.
We played solid. We played hard. We looked good out there playing against arguably right now the best team in the league.
Record wise, the best team in the league.
Record wise, the best team in the league. But I mean, we played hard. We didn't look horrible. We looked good. I seen some development, out of some players, and we I don't know, just not enough talent out there, I guess.
And I think right now, just looking at where we are right now, we're 4-14, right? We
Right.
we probably need to start looking at what developmental what did we develop in this game? You know what I mean? Did we
I seen a little more chemistry out there with everybody. I seen a little bit more passing and willing to pass the ball to the next player and the next person.
Okay.
We were playing ISO because I guess that's our system, but I seen a little bit more of I seen Burke a little bit willing to, make a pass to get the ball back to do the ISO, or Hardaway to get past it to pass the ball back to start, to go into their attack mode, more than just bringing it up the court and everybody, 4 out and we just going, ISO it up all game.
Yeah. Now I'm not sure if that's exactly his Fizdale system. From what I understand, he's not proud at all that we're last in the league in assists. I think it is what it is right now, but I don't think it's the system. I think that Fizdale wants a more free flowing ball movement, man movement type of system. That's what I think. Let me get to this.
I think we have that, but what we need to do a lot more that I don't see that we need to cut more and a lot more stuff going on the weak side. Yeah. The only person I actually see that does that a lot and frequently is Hazonia. Yeah. But other than that, everybody else, they just stand in their one spot. There's not a lot of movement or anything besides on who has the ball or on the ball side.
Two or three people who have the ball, who's on the strong side of the court. Yeah, I get you. I would like to see a lot more off ball movement, cutting, right, flashing, screening. Definitely. Right. Let me get to this call. Call, you on live with nothing but Knicks. What's popping?
Yo, what's good, Sim?
I'm chilling, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm gonna be in the video chat a little bit later. I was just at my lady's house. I'm on my way home, but I had to call in and talk about the Knicks. I watched the game. So are we on the subject, or are we just still talking about the game?
Right now, what I want to do right now. First, I'm gonna do this little keys. I'm gonna go over it with you. All right, I'm gonna go over it with you, and Guillermo's no longer there. It's gonna bring him in on it. The keys that I had to success, and I did this really quick before I was leaving because I was preparing for my game and on the way to the game. And by the way, for those who don't know, we got smacked tonight. My girls' high school team, we got smacked by a really, really good team that won the championship last year. We got smacked up tonight. There's just not much more we can say about it.
We got work to do. That's all.
Yeah, we got smacked up. But my keys to success tonight, I want to hear from you all because I didn't see the game. So I want to hear from you all. Did we do these things, right? So that we could be successful tonight, because obviously we had some degree of success. All right. Strong start. It seems clear to me that we had a pretty strong start. We ended the first quarter with a lead. Okay. Did we provide help on Dame and CJ McCollum? Did you see the game? Did we have enough? How did we defend them?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. How did we defend Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum? I mean, CJ McCollum had 31 points tonight.
I'll be honest with you, Sam. I thought we covered Damian better than we did CJ McCollum, because CJ McCollum was basically, it was Tim Hardaway on CJ McCollum. I thought we did a good job on Damian Lillard, and some people might not agree with me, but I from what I've seen, I think we did a good job because at the end of the day, Damian Lillard is all NBA first team. So there's not that much you can do. But from what I've seen, I thought we did a very good. He shot 9 for 22, 3 for 9 from 3. I thought we did a good job on him. But C.J. McCollum was really the one that killed us tonight.
Right. Yeah. So C.J. McCollum had 31 points, shot 56.5% from the field. Dame Lillard had 29 points, but he shot 40.9% from the field and 33% from 3. And to
be honest with you, Sim, and this is what I am from my conversation. What I got from the game, we're lucky that Portland doesn't move the ball.
Right, and that was my next key. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'm changing my keys to success to keys to development. What are we going to do this game to develop this team? Because that's just where we are right now, right? Keys to development. And my next one after helping on Dame and CJ was playing solid man defense because this team is an ISO team. How did we play solid man-to-man, mano-a-mano defense against them?
I'm going to say half a no because Burt couldn't guard anybody because he's just literally short. And then, like I said, Tim Hardaway, I just didn't think did a good job on Dame Lillard. I mean, I didn't think he did a good job on C.J. McCollum because he's one of the reasons why Damian Lillard got a 3 foul shots because he didn't fight over the screen. He got frustrated and hit Damian Lillard on the head. I didn't believe we did a really good job man to man, with Damian, and I didn't think we did a good job man to man.
Okay,
in my opinion.
Okay, we rebounded the ball, and I think I'm assuming I didn't see the game. I'm hoping and assuming that we played 48 minutes. Let me ask you this. Where did we develop? What did we do? Did we do anything tonight that we haven't seen in previous games? Because I really want us to start talking about the development of this team. Because that's that's where we are right now. So is there any place? So, my headliners, my topics for the night is going to start to include something about development. Did you see us develop anything tonight? Learn anything from previous games that helped us to be successful tonight that we can hopefully take with us? It's me says more assists, right? So we had 22 assists tonight. We've been getting well below 15 assists, well below 18 assists every night for the past few games. We had 22 tonight. Was that more ball movement? Was it because we shot a better percentage from the field?
You know what I seen today?
What did you see tonight?
Surprised me. I seen ball movement. I seen actual screens, and we scored off the screens. I seen good team defense in spurts. I think we had a 24 shot clock violation. I believe we played. I seen spurts of good team defense and really good screens. Okay. I was actually very happy with that. We actually got some screens, and we got to get better at cutting because there was a play where Tim Hardaway was cutting. Mitch was gonna feed him the ball. He stopped cutting and it turned into a turnover. We got to get better. We got to get better with cuts.
That's communication error. That's communication and chemistry right there.
Yeah, Tim literally stopped cutting, and Mitch basically threw the ball away. And also on a side note, Sim, who was the guy that told you rebounding didn't matter? Who said that to you?
I forgot who that was. Well, that might have been Marty Knicks, somebody.
Tell him he's an idiot because Trey Burke didn't box out for one of the last possessions of the game and Evan Turner got the rebound and passed it to their center and scored. So tell him rebounding does matter.
A lot of people are idiots to you, huh? That's your favorite word.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I people idiots.
That's your favorite word.
Let me not say people are idiots. When it comes to the Knicks knowledge, they're not the smartest. And I'm not saying I'm the smartest at Knicks knowledge, but I'm just saying for somebody to say rebounding doesn't matter, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, well, obviously
we didn't do good in
rebounding matters. Yeah. So all right, but tell me, where did we develop? Just give me a couple of places where we developed, and I'm gonna come to the video chat. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna give everybody an assignment for tomorrow night's game. Right? Pay attention. I want you guys to just pay attention to areas that we developed, areas that you're seeing us getting better. Right? So let's pay attention to that for tomorrow night. Play areas that you see us getting better. All right? That's where we are right now. We're talking about team development. Did you see anything? I'm gonna open up the video chat. I'm gonna come to Knicks. Did you see anything tonight? Did you see anything tonight that says this team is developing?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. You didn't see anything.
No, I mean development meaning you're doing something completely different than what you've been doing the last 17 games that you played, correct?
Well, I'm saying developing, and maybe we did something tonight that we didn't do in previous games that's going to help us become a successful team, right? Like someone said, we got more assists. Okay, we got more assists tonight.
Assists come. I would say no, Sam, and the reason why I say no is because it starts with coaching, and if coach, I think we got to all really get to the bottom of this. If you allow Tim Hardaway to do whatever he wants on offense,
right?
That says everything, man. To me, that says that you just don't care. There's no offensive plays. There's no sets being ran at all. As far as what happened tonight was, there's a screen being played. There's a screen being ran for Dame Dog but there's a screen being ran for their backcourt, and as soon as the screen is being ran, they're shooting a 3-pointer. 9 times out of 10, they're hitting it. Even if you're playing defense on these guys, it's like it's gonna drop. It's like we had no hope tonight. The only way that we would have won tonight is honestly, to me, it was free throws. If we would have hit our free throws, Vonleh per se, we'd have won this game.
Okay, and
we lost this game because of free throws, in my opinion. That's
okay.
I think we lost this game on free throws. I don't think people say Trey Burke. Yes, he's always going to be a liability. Anybody that's under 6 feet is going to be a liability. You can't play defense.
Okay, and I seen Emmanuel C in the chat also say that we lost this game because we missed 6 free throws. Let me see. Let me come.
That's wrong, man.
Let me come to. Let me come to C-Dog. My man, did you see any development from this team tonight? And any area of the game that you say, okay, we got better here, we're getting better here, because I guess that's the barometer for us right now, right? That's the barometer for us now, recognizing and seeing, are we developing in areas of the game that gets in the future? Did you see anything?
I mean, they was running and passing the ball. They were making shots. I don't know if they developed anything. They was just making their shots tonight.
Okay.
And if Vonleh would have made the free throws, they probably could have won. He hurt him. He missed 4 down the stretch. Okay. I mean, the defense is always going to be shaky because they don't play that pick and roll the way it should be played. No, you can't fight through a pick. If these guys are shooting, McCollum is shooting. How many threes he made? As soon as he get a pick, whoever man is picking is supposed to be up there to make him go back the other way instead of playing. Why is the center playing at the foul line and he ain't blocking the shots anyway?
Okay.
They run the pick and roll with Cantor. That's the game plan every game. Run the pick and roll with Cantor because he's not going to be out there to prevent it.
Well, yeah. I mean, every team in the league right now knows if Cantor is in the game, we're putting him in that pick and roll situation, and we're gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if some of you guys probably remember. You guys remember back in the day? You remember that LL Cool J and Cannabis battle, and Cannabis had, he had his second round knockout song, and he came on and Mike Tyson was on there. He was like, Cannabis, I just want you to eat. That's what they do when they see Cantor on the floor on that pick and roll. It's eat. If you guys don't know, just go check out Cannabis second round knockout, and you'll hear Mike Tyson on the song say, I want you, I forgot everything he said, but that was a tough song too. That was Cannabis' only joint. I mean, like, after that, I mean, for real, like, LL Cool J, like, really said it. He didn't come out with a better diss track, LL didn't, but he was like, yo, like, this is it for you. Like, where's your career? And, Cannabis obviously didn't have a big career. He still, till today, is just a straight up battle rapper. That's all Cannabis is, a straight up battle rapper. But I don't know how I got from that to, now I'm talking about Cannabis. But anyway, Guillermo, did you see any kind of development anywhere?
Absolutely not. And just to say what Knicks said down there, you know how you can tell that this team hasn't grown? I'll say at least on offense. Defensively, I'm not even going to, whatever. On offense, every time in crunch time, what does Fizz do? He goes ISO ball. Now, if you look at a team like, say, the Warriors, right? And look, I understand the Warriors have talent, but even take the Warriors before they had KD, they would have plays that was set up that if Curry got double teamed, or even if Curry sometimes would dribble the ball, they have a play where they would use the big man. They would do a Steve Novak pick, two guys to help pick to get Clay open. They game plan to get guys open looks, and that's the difference between you winning because it's ISO and you win because of a system. Now, in a system, if I'm the defense playing against a multifaceted system where it's like everybody's getting open looks and anybody could be dangerous, it's tougher for me to game plan. Now I can't like cheat off of certain guys. I can't have guys kind of drag it and play help side defense easy because I know one guy's going to drive to the basket. With this Knicks team, it's either Hardaway or Burke. And you see it, and it's easier to game plan. If Hardaway's not hot, Hardaway is not the greatest. He's not going to drive and make everything in crunch time, right? He likes to shoot. If that shot's not going in, which screws him. Burke was hot tonight, but same thing with Burke. Burke is a guy that, if you have better front court guys that help once you get around that pick and roll, I can easily block that. So you see it in crunch time, Sim. It's like Fizdale panics. I don't see the ball go to anybody else. We got Dotson. We don't even feed to Dotson. Dotson should be able to come around screens, curls, hit the shot with 5 seconds left. We don't run any of that, Sim. So absolutely not. On defense, Cantor is a zilch. Now, I did see him come out one time to play Lillard, but it was so obvious because he was on an island by himself, and Lillard was in a corner. So it was like, you might as well just go out there because no one else is out there. Other than that, I'm telling you, on defense, I don't know what he's telling him. So I think that the Tank job is in. I see no development. And here's what I hate about the Tank job. I'll be really quick. You're betting all your marbles on trying to bring a guy who looks good in college. Now, Sim, you've seen guys who look great in college only to come to NBA and flop. And I don't like the fact that we're for RJ Barrett and Zion Williamson. Why don't you build a system that even if we pick 10th, 7th or 11th, 14th, whatever it may be, that if the guy comes in, the free agents comes in, it's easy to slot them in. Now you have a culture, you have a philosophy that you want these guys to follow. Kevin Durant comes in, you're going to depend on this guy to carry a team. He couldn't do that stuff in OKC, and he's not an alpha in Golden State. So I don't know what they're trying to do, but it doesn't seem like they're trying to cultivate these players. I saw no growth. We got lucky literally because Burke and Hardaway got hot. And it doesn't matter if Vonleh hits his shots, not say we wouldn't have won, but also on defense. How many open shots did McCollum get tonight? Where was a hustle on defense with our players? You talk about big men getting caught in trash. I don't care if my big man gets caught. Keep switching around. Things might get caught to the point where they can't get an open shot. Now you have to reset. Now maybe you can get the big man back to a smaller guy and reset the players around. But we don't do that. There's no hustle. There's no communication on defense, man. It's bad, man.
Okay. All right. Well, every game, guys, I'm gonna be looking for areas, trying to find areas where we see some development. So let's keep our eyes open. Nate, did you see anything?
I actually thought that Vonleh played.
My bad. What you say, Knicks?
The stat line. I mean, he had 14 points and how many rebounds? I think what it was.
14 rebounds, I believe.
Yeah, and I think that's probably a season high for Vonleh, and it's probably a season high in points too. So maybe he's starting to get more comfortable, in the offense. And, we really need him, because you look at tonight, Cantor's numbers were very, very, very low, when he started.
Yeah.
So you think if he would have been starting, he would have probably put up higher numbers than that. So it looks like Vonleh, really stepped up. And, hey, somebody's got to step up at that forward position. I mean, especially, with our big guy out, we got to get more consistency from those two guys if Fizdale's going to keep him in the lineup. So okay. I would probably say Vonleh. I mean, those impressive numbers, for a guy who does have potential. He really does. He just needs the light needs to go off on his head. He needs to be more consistent with that shot. And he's already a good rebounder. I mean, everybody's kind of, made that clear about him. He's got huge hands, so he can rebound pretty much anything. But he just needs to be consistent with that shot. So I'll say Vonleh. That was impressive stat line for me.
Okay. Let me get a couple of super chats. Marty Knicks, he said, apparently Tim Hardaway Jr. is Harden. What do LeVert, Levine, Tatum, Ross, Middleton, Beal, Oladipo, Drew Holiday, McCollum have in common? Tim Hardaway Jr. is the fourth quarter punching bag. Blessed Lover said, proud of our team tonight. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. We gave better effort and scored, but I counted Nurkic for 9 personal fouls tonight. Said Fizz has no playbook on offense thus far. Great try tonight for the Knicks. And then shout out to the J. Caleb Show. Says Shamari Pons is the best point guard in New York. Also, I want to Anthony Williams, I seen you in the chat, said that Cannabis actually won that battle. You're right. You're probably right, because that second round knockout song was tough, and I didn't think LL came back strong enough. But he definitely didn't win the war, because my man Can I Bust. That's what I seen. That's what LL. I think LL had a song like that, right? Can I Bust? Yeah. Davon, man. Davon, what did you see any areas of development? Then I'm gonna get to this call here.
Yeah, Sam, I wouldn't say I was seeing any team development.
Okay.
Per se, but I seen a little bit of player development. I seen a little bit more the selfish players being a little unselfish, and I seen a little bit more players trying a little harder.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I seen a little, as far as I seen Burke a little bit more running his ISO a little bit better. He wasn't. He was doing it a little bit better. He just wasn't just going right into it. He was, trying to move it around just a little bit and picking spots a little bit better. But as a team, I wouldn't say we haven't no type of development. Not per se as a team. But I feel like if everybody starts piecing it together a little bit more, maybe in the next 10 games we come back to this, keys to development, I think we could see a little bit more development from people.
Yeah. Okay. Look, I see some other people, talking about Cannabis. Chris Carby said, LL said 99% of your fans don't exist, and it was over. That was a tough line when he said that. 99% of your fans don't exist. That was real tough. And LL Cool J was like, that was my dude too. I mean, he still is. I like LL Cool J, but that was my dude back in the day. I think it was Childhood Time Machine said something about, Cannabis, in some tracks that Cannabis dropped or whatever. He had a couple of all right tracks, but he was a little bit too, I don't know what you want to say, man. Like, he said stuff that people wasn't getting. He didn't comprehend. Like I remember one of his lines was like, in one of his songs, he said, you don't even know what the Human Genome Project is. And I was like, Cannabis, like 80% of the people listening to you don't know what the Human Genome Project is. He was just a little bit too scientifical and stuff like that, man. But, Cannabis was all right. He came out with his little flow, and he was trying to get people. You know what I'm saying? Childhood Time Machine. There you go. You said, so basically Cass wasn't smart enough to listen to Cannabis. Yeah, you might be right, because Cannabis was spitting stuff straight out of science textbooks. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, he was spitting stuff straight out of science textbooks, and nobody was trying to rock with that. You know, at that moment, he needed to dumb it down just a little bit. He ain't had to be stupid, but just, you know, bring it down a little bit. You know, but let me get to this. Well, I guess they hung up on the phone call. But anyway, well, you know, from the sounds from the chat, maybe the Knicks didn't show too much development tonight. I know somebody said, you know, that we had more assists. So my question there is, well, were those assists from just because we were shooting a better percentage, or did we actually get assists, you know, because we were doing something more on offense? And it sounds like we didn't really do too much more on offense. And excuse me, I hope I'm not confusing some people. You know, I know we're jumping back and forth between conversations, you know, but my next question is, on the bench now was Frank Ntilikina, Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson, Alonzo Trier, a nice young group on the bench, young guys, right? You got 3 rookies in that group, and then you got a second-year player in Frank Ntilikina. How did that group look together? That's what I want to know from you guys. How did that group look together? Because I didn't get a chance to see it. Let me see. I don't know if anyone. I'm gonna come to Knicks. How did that young group, Frank Ntilikina, Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson, Alonzo Trier, how did they look together?
It's a good question. Kevin Knox actually looked a little bit lost tonight. I ain't gonna lie to you. Frank actually played a better game than he usually plays. Not even that he usually plays. Frank is good. Frank is a system player, period. But as far as Mitch played an excellent game. I actually love seeing Mitch out there tonight. Mitch played a way better game than what's his name? Cantor played. I actually think Cantor was more of a liability defensively than anything. But Frank and Mitch played really well together. As far as Knox, you can tell Knox is really just he's rusty. He's extremely rusty. It seemed like he doesn't trust his injury. He seemed like he's really funny with that ankle or whatever he had injured. He just doesn't seem comfortable out there, but he will be okay. You just got to give him time to get out there and do what he does. Mm-hmm. Mitch looked really good, though, man. I will tell you, Mitch looked good. I actually love Mitch. Frank looks great, man. People have too much expectations for Frank, and that's the issue. Give Frank some time and give Frank a chance, man. A lot of people want Frank to be this big all-star, and he's never going to be. Frank is not an all-star player. Frank is going to be a system player. Meaning, if you draw a play for Frank, he will execute it. If you want Frank to get out there and just do whatever you want him to do, he's not going to do it. It's just that simple, man. Accept what he is, man. Accept what Frank is out there.
Yeah, so let me ask this, though.
Excellent game, though.
Let me ask this. Just about Frank real quick. Because Frank, all right, you know, we're saying, you know, Frank is a system player. Frank, you know, plays well within the system. If if Fizdale wants to play an up-tempo, creative style of game, if that's what his goals are, if that's what the end game is, that the Knicks are going to play up-tempo, creative, does that X out Frank? Does that take Frank out of
negative
what we want to do?
No, and I don't even necessarily think for one, I can't say what Fed's system is going to be because we don't have the players that we expected to have next year. The majority of our players right now are not going to be there next year. I honestly think that even Tim Hardaway Jr. is not going to be the next year. I think we are playing his game to exploit him, to make him look extremely great, to get rid of him. That's what I think. That's what I believe.
You think that's the end game with Tim Hardaway?
Absolutely. I think Tim is being... Think about it. Tim, I mean, the coach talks about him like he's an excellent player. He's this great a guy, and he's understanding, and it just sounds too well to be true. And then he has the green light. He shoots whenever he wants to shoot. There's no benching of him. Think about it, everybody has been on the bench except Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah, that's true.
It says a lot about this man's game. Mm-hmm. I think Tim is being played into being traded. And I'm not against it. I mean, I if it was up to me, I want to trade Tim. Get rid of him. Get rid of him.
Okay.
Because I think Tim is as good as he is. Tim is what he is right now, and I think we are at his ceiling. And I don't got nothing against him. I just think he's a horrible shot shooter. I think he doesn't set his feet. I think he thinks himself is better than he actually is. And I'm not against him, but I just don't. I'm not a fan of Tim Hardaway Jr. for this Knicks team. But as far as Tim Hardaway, I think as far as what's his name, Frank Ntilikina, I think he is what he is, and you got to accept him for who he is. But we don't know what's going to happen next year because we're going to be a complete different team next year. You got to accept that, man.
That's true. That's true. Let me get to this call real quick. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping, man? Hello? Caller?
Hello?
Hey, what's popping? What's going on with you, man? Got a question for you. All right. Fizdale supposedly, he's supposed to be implementing a system or a style of play, let's say that, because we clearly have not seen a system, a style of play that is predicated on playing up tempo, creative, in the flow of the game. Right? That's what he said. That's the style of play he said he wants to, the beginning of the season when it's all started. Does that style of play ice Frank out? Does it ice him out? Or can Frank adapt? Is it just taking time for him to adapt, or is it going to eventually ice him out? What do you think?
Well, I think it does take Frank some time to adapt because Frank is not used to that type of style, and he's not a person that pushes the ball as fast as a high-speed dribbler would. So he's still trying to figure out the best play to make, and his style, his process of dribbling the ball up the floor may be a little bit slower than pushing it as fast as Fizdale wants.
Right. I mean, because that's what he seems to be made to do, right? I mean, he can't. We've seen him push the ball sometimes, right? But it's not always there that he's just going to get the ball and go up the floor and look for who's available. And of course, we've all seen it. There are times when he is pushing the ball and he's in the middle of the floor. He's looking for open players when the lane is wide open for him.
Right. I was just about to say that he's not using that triple threat capability at that point. He's actually looking to facilitate the ball while he's pushing it.
Yeah.
If he has a free opening, like we getting lucky with that, and that he's going to take that.
Yeah. We're going to see how this plays out, man. We're definitely going to see how this plays out with Frank. I just want to ask a couple more people and see if they think this style of play is going to push Frank out. C-Dog, what do you think, man? Do you think an up-tempo, creative style of play will push Frank out the door? Or can he adapt?
Not really. I mean, if he's the one handling the ball, who's going to be in the game with him? That's what you got to ask.
Is now a lot of people say that Frank is a system guy, right? Is a system player.
I mean, he probably is. He played in France,
right? So if that's
they had a system, and it wasn't like they were that good. They didn't win no tournaments anymore.
Who didn't win? They was in the championship. They was in the championship. They were in the finals.
Yeah, they was in the championship.
I was champion. I'm talking about international. Playing against other nations. It wasn't like France never got no medals or nothing like that. So their talent wasn't all that good.
Well, he was never on any of those teams, but
so y'all expected too much out of the guy. He is not that kind of person. But if he's on the team now, so let him play. He plays good defense. I don't even care if he shoots that much as long as you got people in there that can score.
Okay.
but just be a threat. Make them. They gotta at least think you're gonna score.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's what you can fool them into thinking you're gonna score. You gotta keep them honest.
Yeah. You can fake people into thinking that you can score. Wait. It's kind of like Isaiah.
Think about this. Isaiah.
Well, think about
this. They're gonna have to start.
If you grab Zion,
Isaiah, can you hear me?
He's not a small forward. He's a power forward.
Isaiah not paying attention.
What happened?
You can't hear me. Can you hear me? I was about to ask you a question.
I said,
Isaiah.
people gotta understand about fit. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Sam? What's going on, Sam?
What's up, man? I was about to ask you a question. What I was going to ask you is, if Frank is a system player, a lot of people say Frank is a system player, right? And if Fizdale is moving towards that, trying to implement an up-tempo creative style, is it going to push Frank out the door?
No. Okay. That's I'm not gonna use the word idiot.
I'm just asking the question. I'm just asking the question.
People like players like Frank, which I consider him a switch army knife. He'll adapt. It's funny. Okay, I understand that. Here's the thing with people that confuses me. Okay, I know you want to play faster, but it's so contradicting when you get into playoffs. You don't play faster.
That's the truth.
That is the most contradicting thing. People say, "Oh, Frank can't push the tempo," but what happens to players like John Wall, Westbrook that can't make it out the first round that play fast? That's the most contradicting thing when people say they want fast point guards, but I'm gonna be real with you, fast point guards. Because Steph Curry's not a fast point guard. He's really not.
The playoffs.
John Wall and all them are fast point guards, and you see what happens. You see freaking Russell Westbrook take 45 shots, and then again, Frank adapts, man. Frank, when Frank pushes the ball, I see him push the ball. He doesn't do it enough. That's one thing I can agree with a lot of people is he doesn't push the ball enough. But when he does, good things usually happen. He usually either gets himself open or he gets one of the teammates open. But pushing the tempo is. People blow it up to a certain extent where they think running fast in the NBA always equals being good. It really doesn't. Because again, if all of us, we all agree, even the Trojans, if we want to be a playoff team, you have to play half court and you have to learn how to play half court. That's what wins you NBA championships in defense. So, Frank.
Okay.
But dog, I just said it, dog. I mean, if you think. I mean, I bet you the Thunder play good with pace.
Well, I mean, but
they play in a system. They play in a system.
I mean, you are right about one thing, Isaiah. When you get into the playoffs, the game definitely slows down, sometimes to a grinding halt, and you got to be able to play that half court style. We'll see. This is going to be interesting. All right, I'm gonna come to Nate. You can answer this, and then we're gonna go and just want to talk about your player of the game. Who's your player of the game for the Knicks? Go ahead, Nate.
So about Frank being, so you're saying if Fizdale wants to run an up-tempo offense, is Frank going to be the guy that could do it? Is that what you're asking?
Is he going to fit in that type of a system? Because, Frank does slow things down sometimes, right?
Right. He does. But, Fizdale also made a point that he wants more assists. Mm-hmm. And, you need your point guard to be able to dish the ball. And, I mean, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, but Frank is probably the most willing passer on this team. That one of the things people get frustrated with Frank is that he's more unselfish than any point guard we have on a roster. The other ones are all about trying to score on the ISO or trying to get their own. Frank, he actually, by default, he tries to get everybody involved. He just sometimes is so unselfish that he forgets about himself.
Now, but my question is, and let's just be frank. All right, let's just be frank.
Nice. You need to quote my laugh after that.
He is. Listen, he is the most unselfish player on the team, but does he? It doesn't always equate to assists. Now we're also a bad shooting team. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I I personally think that Frank has all the tools to adapt, and that he will adapt. Number one, he plays defense. You know what I mean? And that's going to put in any kind of system. Your defense, if you want to play an up-tempo type of style of a game, your defense... You
better stop somebody.
Yeah, your defense is going to lead to that transition play. Your defense is going to lead to you getting out on the break and being able to, get the ball up the floor. So, you got to have defenders to do it. I think that Frank will be able to adjust and adapt and fit into that style of a game. It's just going to take him a little while to change his habits. Habits are super duper important with anything that you do in life, not just basketball.
Yeah, I think
I'm just asking the question.
I think honestly, Sim, and I'm probably going to get killed in the chat for this, but you know who is a good example of a point guard that can run a fast-paced kind of offense, but can run the play under control? CP3 kind of comes to mind. Mm-hmm. Because he can go when he goes, but he can also run the half-court offense. Right. And he's not always looking to drive to the basket like a Russell Westbrook and go crazy 100 miles per hour. He actually looks at the offense. He sets up the people. He makes the passes when he makes the passes, and he takes the shots when he takes the shots. Now, I'm not saying Frank is anything like CP3. I'm just saying the example I would use is probably him, because he's not the fastest guy, but he can run at a high pace, but also he can slow down when needed to. You know what I'm saying?
All right, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Frank's, less than 100 games in his career, so we'll see how it goes. I want to come to, but I see Guillermo in a heated conversation, so I wanted to come to Guillermo, but I don't know if he's ready because he looks like he's getting at somebody right now. But I did want to ask him a question, so I'll wait until he's ready, and I'll get to Guillermo. In the meantime, I guess I'll come back to you, Nate. Who was your player of the game tonight? You didn't even watch the game, so it's hard for you to say.
Honestly, the stat line you gave me, I would say Vonleh, man. That's really impressive numbers for a guy who doesn't score a lot, and I think this is probably one of his first double-digit rebounds of the season. Maybe he hasn't had a lot.
He had a couple. He's had a couple.
Okay, he had a couple, but still, 14 rebounds. That's no sniff. No. And 14 points. I'll take that. If he can even give us like 10 and like 8 or something like that, I'm cool with that. The guy has talent. If you watched him play in college, he has talent. He's just been in bad teams and just hasn't fit right. So that was kind of the one that kind of stood out to me is his game really. He outplayed Cantor. Let's just be honest. He out-rebounded Cantor, I think.
Well, so if he can continuously,
that was probably the most surprising thing of anything.
Okay, if Vonleh can continuously rebound at this type of a clip, and he doesn't have to get 14 tonight, but if he can get double-digit rebounds every night, then he'll be much more useful than Cantor, right? Because he's more athletic, play better defense.
Well, Cantor needs help on the boards regardless. We need guys to get on the boards. We're getting beat way too many times on the boards and giving up easy boards to opposing teams for baskets. So everybody's got to get on the boards, but you definitely expect your forwards to at least get around 10 rebounds a game if possible.
Yeah. Okay. And all right, I'm gonna get around, find out whose people's player tonight is, and somebody tell who's Mark to please get off the 2G internet service, man, and get 4G or something. Get Files, get something, man. This man is on 2G. He might be using the Edge network still. Come on, Mark. What's going on, man? You gotta get it. You gotta get it together, bro. Now let me see. I'm gonna come to Davon. Who's your player of the game for the Knicks tonight, Davon? Davon, can you hear me?
Embiid, of course.
Embiid, Joel Embiid is your player of the game tonight.
But you're looking at it from
these guys can't even hear me, bro.
We're talking about now.
These guys can't hear me. I think they can't. Hey Nate, you gotta let them know. Nate, you gotta let them know. I'm trying to talk to him, but Ron Cleveland, what's popping, man?
Man.
What's going on with you tonight?
Man, hey. Let me mute some of these sounds, man, so I can holler.
Yeah. Because I'm coming down to the end of the show, man. I'm coming down to the end of the show. I'm about to get up out of here in a minute. I'm trying to get to these guys, but these guys having a beef session about something.
Yeah, man. Hey, Sam.
Yes, sir. What's going on with you?
I'm still seeing a disturbing trend with our team, man.
Okay, what's that?
Inconsistencies, man. Down late in the game. I mean, some of the stuff I seen Fizz do tonight with our lineup didn't make no sense to me. Why in the world did he kept Cantor in the game near the end like that? I'm like, Cantor can't play no defense. And even Trey Burke gave us great offense. He has the last 2 games. But down the stretch, you can't have him in that game like that. When rebounds, you have to have rebounds. And I'm like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Because that's what got us. We got killed. You know, loose ball, 50-50 balls. We got killed in that category. In the free throws, I couldn't understand that. Noah Vonleh, man, I said it, man. Watching that dude shoot free throws, I was just too through. I'm like, that's the one thing you can control. You can control shooting free throws. Yeah. I couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
And for Kevin Knox, I'm gonna say this, Sam. I don't see no confidence of that young man. I don't see it. And I don't see no kind of players being ran for him. And what teed me off tonight too is I saw when Mitchell Robinson was flashing to the basket where they could have threw lobs to him up top. Nobody throwing the lob to him. I'm like, why do we even got this guy? This guy is the most athletic player on our team, probably one of the most athletic players in the league, and we're not utilizing him. We're not utilizing him, man. It's pathetic. It's really pathetic looking at our offense right now. And people can say, well, we young. I don't care about all that being young stuff, man. It's time for this team to start making some advancement, and Fizz is going to have to settle on the lineup. He's going to have to settle on the lineup, and I almost felt like really some of the stuff he was doing, some of them switches he was doing, I'm like, okay, the first lineup was in there playing good. Then you pull them boys and put them on the bench. And I'm like, what is he doing? I don't see no rhyme or reason in our offense right now, man.
Yeah.
I don't see.
Well, I mean, there is none. There is none. There is none right now.
It's so inconsistent, it ain't funny. And I'm telling you, we talked about this last year with Hornacek. I never thought I'd call his name again. I'm seeing the same thing. No consistencies to the lineup. And that's going to cause you a problem. You're going to lose more games than you're going to win them. And I almost feel like I hate to even bring up this word, but to me, it's looking like it's a tank. It's looking like it's a tank, and it might have came from up top.
Well, we'll see what's going on, man. We'll see what's up. Hey, Mark, what's poppin', man? What's good with you, man?
Not much, man. It was a good game tonight. You know, for once, you know, they tried hard. You know, I like the effort and whatnot. You know, Trey Burke did his thing. You know, Timmy D did his thing. Try to keep us in the game. Our main problem is I don't know what is wrong with us. Like, teams always get these timely shots on us, and it's like every time. That's what killed us when CJ McCollum came down by like 2-3 times. We played good defense on him, and he just drilled it. And then, you know, Dame Dollar with the last, you know, one of those gut-wrenching shots that he hit. But it was a good game. Good defense.
I mean, you know, a team like ours, that's going to happen. It's just going to happen. You know what I mean? Because we don't have that step-up ability to close the game out right now. It's going to happen. Teams are going to hit those big shots, and we're not going to be able to respond back with big shots.
No, but it's not even that. It's like, yo, we could play the best defense right there, and it just so Knicks always get hit with a timely shot. This is not like it doesn't happen once in a while. It happens almost every close game, and that's what is gun wrenching. That's what gets me mad. Because tonight, I wanted that dub. I would have taken that dub, but
it's like. All right, the Knicks don't play an aggressive style of defense, right? I mean, it's just not, you know, even when you have a good defensive night, it's not overly aggressive. When you let people get comfortable, and they get comfortable getting to their spots when players can get to their spots, even if they're missing shots, but they're getting to their spots, right? And you're letting them get comfortable. When it comes down to the end of the game, they're gonna hit those shots because you already let them get comfortable. You already let them get a rhythm and things like that. That's why, defenses need to be aggressive. They need to be rugged. You need to take people out of their comfort zones. Don't let them get their shots in their comfort zones. Jam them when they're cutting. Bump them up. You know what? Your team may pick up more fouls than you like sometimes when you're bumping and scrapping and scraping. But when you take people out of their comfort zones, then when it comes down to those last shots, you're going to have your superstar players who can just turn it up. You can't do nothing about that. But there's other players that is not going to be able to do it. You know what I mean? And you take them off. You take them out of their comfort zones, and it's not going to be as easy. They're not going to be as comfortable. It's not going to be as natural, or they're not going to be in as much rhythm to knock down those big time shots. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you a question. Why is people coming down on Fizdale like we have B+ players out on the court?
I don't think it's just about, obviously we know what kind of players we have on the floor. I think it's just about people want to see some of those principles that he's talked about in action on the floor. People want to see, a little bit more, I don't know if you want to say just more actions on the offensive side of the floor. Like, you know what I'm saying? More backdoor cuts, more cuts to the basket, more backdoor screens. Like you look at Orlando, right? The backdoor screens, the backdoor cuttings, that comes from coaching. That comes from saying when someone reaches this point, if they're overplaying you, you go backdoor. Come set this screen. That comes from coaching. And that's what I think people aren't seeing.
All right, let me tell you what Fizdale is doing.
Those are easy things that we can
do. This team lacks a sense of IQ. So he lets them play the way they're playing to see who is smart on the fly. So he can, because the sets he want to run, you have to have high IQ players to run it. And the fact that the Knicks don't have that because we don't pass the ball, we don't have much ball players that pass the ball to the open man when they attack, and we don't have players that slash and cut as much. The defense that he wants to run, we don't have those type of players that are aggressive. We don't have aggressive players for him to run his system. So what he's doing right now is just seeing who is smart enough to make smart passes. And we don't have players with high IQ. And I'm hearing people coming down on him. I'm like, bro, number one, this is how many games we're in? 15? He's trying to build a structure that New York need. That's why I want him as a coach, because we wanted structure. I wanted structure more than anything.
But because if we don't have structure, I agree. I want a structure more than anything, and I don't see the structure on the offensive side of the floor. Let me respond to Child Time real quick. Child Time said, Fizdale had a better offense, but it wasn't. It didn't equate to wins or whatever it was. I'm not asking for the offense to equate to wins. See, and I'll keep harping on it, right? Because it's just what I believe, and I understand what you're saying, Mark, right? But
we raw as hell, man. I believe
that you can if you start to implement your system, however you want to play. And if players cannot do it, that tells you who to keep and who not to keep. That tells you who can do it and
that's
who can't
that's
do
the
it.
problem is.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, but my thing is, if you don't start to put your system and principles in, then you really don't know who can play in it. I think if you start to put it in, who can get the principles, who can do the things that you want to do. And then you can say, well, this person can't do it. They got to go. This person can do it. I want to keep them. This person can, but maybe it's not good enough. We can get somebody better. I'm not asking for the team to, obviously I want to win, but I want to start really building that structure and having these principles set because, and here's my reasoning why. Right? We talk about KP coming back. Well, what's he coming back to? Is he coming back to play? I mean, how do we know I mean, what's he coming back to? You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
that's what I don't know. What's he coming back to? You know what I'm saying?
Every time I look at this roster, I'm like, yo, I don't even want to sign KP back to this team the way this roster looks.
You know, if you don't understand how you're gonna play, then what are you gonna say to KP to say, okay, this is how we're playing, and here is how you fit. That is what, you know, and then people talk about free agents. If you don't have a system of how you want to play, how do you expect to say to KD, to Anthony Davis, to anybody else, how do you expect to say, this is how I plan to use you? They're going to say, really? Because I didn't see any kind of system in place. I didn't see you doing anything to show me, to prove to me that you actually know how to use me in your offense or in your system. I believe you need to have something in place so that you now know. If you don't have anything in place, in my opinion, if you don't have anything in place, then you're going out and just grabbing players, grabbing free agents and saying, we just want the talent, right? Of course, you want to get the most talented players that you can, but you want to get players that fit what you want to do. If you have a system, now you can say, you know what? I want Anthony Davis because he can fit next to KP like this. We can do this, this, and this. This is what we already do. We already had this piece here and this piece here that fits inside our system. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm just looking for principles of it and more, you know, there's more things happening on offense. That's all I'm asking for. You know what I'm saying? For players to begin, because if you don't, then next year when this team may be, you know, we may have another group of players that are brand new next year, right? We're starting all over. Then we're starting all over, developing something brand new again. You know what I'm saying? And I can see it happening. Think about the players we have on the team already. Moutier may not be here. Hazonia may not be here. Who else? Noah Vonleh. He probably will be here. Cantor may not be here. Trey Burke may not be here. I mean, there's a host of players that just may not be here next year. Courtney Lee may not be here. Right? So now we're talking again, a whole nother overhaul. And of course we need more talent. Right? A whole nother overhaul, which means we're starting all over again. The players that you know, I mean, there's certain players you know are going to be here. Kevin Knox, Frank Ntilikina, Tim Hardaway Jr. Those guys are going to be here. Mitchell Robinson's going to be here. You know, who else? I mean, I don't know. Who else? Alonzo Trier is going to be here. You know, start making sure that those guys understand your structure, you know, and structure of what you want to do. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just want to see more of the structure because I think that's how you teach young guys. So
yeah, you know what's funny too? What's funny is when I watch Mario, he something with him. I can't watch him on the court. He does not try.
Man, I mean,
and I want him to try because he has talent, man. He has talent, but on the defense, Fizz ain't gonna keep these guys that's not playing defense because the defense he want to run is very effective when he has the right players. Well, and a lot of them don't play the defense. They on and off, but when they're bad, they are bad, man. And it makes him look bad because these players not putting the effort, man. This game is about effort. If you don't have the players that don't want to put in effort, they have to go because you can't build the structure with those type of players here. And I tell people, these lights are bigger than any other arena besides LA in some cases.
Yeah.
Okay. And Cantor want to get paid. So I'm not paying him that type of money. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to figure it out.
Right. Yeah, I mean, look, Cantor's not getting paid that amount of money by any team in the league.
No, he's not. And I was telling everybody. Now, what teams they're going to do? They're going to make all these players test these markets. Everybody think Kimber's going to get that $225 million? Hell no. Jordan's going to make them test the market. All these players going to get test the market. If you ain't the top 10 players, which I mean KD, Kawhi, Harden, those type of players, they're going to test the waters with them.
Yeah.
They're gonna test the waters with them.
And Mark, let me just respond to something in the chat, because there's people saying that we're delusional, because we want the team to win. First of all, what we're talking about, developing a structure and having a system. So that we start to get some things in place, so we get a culture in place. That's what we're talking about. Developing a structure and a system to have a culture in place. And we're having a conversation about what may or may not be the best way to do that. Right? That doesn't have anything to do with wins or losses. That has to do, and it definitely doesn't have anything to do with tanking. It's about developing a culture and a system. It has nothing to do with tanking. You know what I'm saying? And in the midst of, hold up 1 second, Mark, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
in the midst of developing a culture and a system and developing your young players, if you can win, you win. If you can't, you can't. You know what I'm saying? You live and you die with the players that you're developing. That's the whole point. Tanking is something totally different. Tanking is just losing to lose. Right? Tanking is, you're not developing a culture. You're not developing a system. You're just trying to get the best player available by any means necessary. So if you're young guys, for example, if we were just in a full out tank and we had Moutier, Hardaway, Damian Dotson, Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson, and they were tearing the league up. If we were tanking, we would say, you know what? No, we're tanking because we want RJ, so we're not going to play these guys. We're not going to play them because we want this top draft pick, even though the young guys are doing well, right? That's tanking. We're talking about development. We're talking about developing a structure, a system, a culture that's going to set you up for long-term success. And if it means that if it develops into a winning season now, then great. If not, then great as well. That's what we are talking about. Tanking is something totally different than development. We are talking about development. We're talking about structure building. We're talking about culture building. That's what we're talking about.
And a perfect example, like I told everybody, I knew we was going to be bad because the lack of the scoring that we get from different people every night. We don't know who exactly is going to get us this amount of points. Mm-hmm. Look at Jaren Jackson in Memphis. Like, if you would have swapped Kevin Knox in there, his development probably would be a little more better because of the winning situation that they're going through right now. As a Knicks fan, when I watch games where we're close like this, those are the games that I like to win. But if we get completely blown down, I'm fine with that. But my main thing, when I get mad, is when I see these players that talk so much about their game and what they want to do on the court that shows no effort. This game is about pure effort. If you want to go out and win, you go out there and play harder than the other team. There's some nights that teams going to dog us, yeah. But I want to develop Knox and Frank Ntilikina in the right way because their confidence is what they lack so badly. That's why, me personally, I was thinking, I really wanted to see how good these two really are. I would have put Frank and Knox in the G League from time to time. Not keep them there, even though the putting them in the real game is good for them. But I want to see if they are strong enough to go against D leagues that then I could separate them and say, okay, they could play in the league. But from a confidence standpoint, I want the Knicks to be in tight games like this because when you look at cats in Boston right now, Terry Rozier, he want to start now because guess what? He got a taste of that playoffs.
Yep. Exactly.
Jason Tatum got a taste of that play. The only reason why he's struggling is because they trying to figure out how Gordon Hayward, Kyrie, and them all coming together. So you want to build those characteristics for those players that really need, like Dotson. His time, he knew his time was, so he needed to improve his game to stay on the floor. He did improve compared to how people will talk about him. I was telling people, you give him a chance and let him play from game to game, he can develop into a sharpshooter. But I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose games on a landslide, like how we lose games. Try hard. Let these players develop by trying hard. That's all we got to worry about. That's the only thing that's going to make me happy. We're going to lose games. It's not about being delusional. It's not about being delusional. But as a Knicks fan, you want to see us being tight games like this, like tonight.
Of course, you want to see us being tight.
That shows them they could go against any team. And when they get that type of confidence, The next year when Porzingis come in, we implement him into the system. That's why I like Porzingis, because he really, really, really thinks highly of himself. He really, really thinks that he can take this team to the playoff. And that is a sign of a budding star. That is a sign, and the way he carries himself. You got to have players like that don't want to keep losing, because, trust me, we've been losing for the last decade, and look how we react. Look how we react. We're uneasy. We don't know what we want. Just look at us as fans. You think players want to be like that? They like structure. So when they get that structure, they like structure on a winning tip. Because guess what? They like to get recognized by the big boys in the league. They want to be recognized by the LeBron, the Currys, the Westbrook. So when they come in A-Town, they know, yeah, I'm a problem. I'm a problem. Y'all got to deal with me tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you, man.
Just look at Jaren Jackson, man. That boy is... He is fluent right now, and I wish that was Knox in a winning situation, because, boy, I would like for him to pan up, but he's scaring me to death because he is sleeping on the court, and that bothers me. That really, really bothers me. I'm watching the players' mannerisms and their motives more than anything compared to them. I just want them to play hard. I want Knox to play hard. If you're going to be on the floor, play hard. Don't just drift. Do other things. And I'm fine with you. That's why I like Frank so much, because, yeah, he might not score. He might not do the necessary things I want him to do, but he goes over the screen. He disrupts the people's offenses. Look how he was playing Lillard tonight compared to the fourth quarter. He was all over him, following him so he wouldn't get to his spots. That's what you want in your young player.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
I just, like I said, Fizdale's the structure that we need, because I feel like he does nail it in them. Because when you watch from game to game, look how we came out the other night. How hard they play. You could just look from the game we lost to the next game. They come out hard. But the fact that we're inexperienced and we don't have scoring, he's doing something in there. But we just don't have the players. Okay. I keep telling people, we're thinking highly of these players, and they're not what we think they are.
I just want to say, I just don't think you got to have a player with a really big high IQ to set a backdoor screen or to cut backdoor, or to do some of those principal type of things. That's all I'm asking to see. That's all I'm asking to see.
And Frank